Hi, we're reporting live again from San Antonio tonight. I'm Chris Oberg. Anno is behind the camera from Southeastern California Conference. We're alongside the Riverwalk, one of the most peaceful places in San Antonio, as the delegates have been released for supper and for a Sabbath walk before worship tonight. This morning, Friday morning, worship began in the Alamo Dome with the invitation to welcome the preparation day. We've done that, and some business took place. We'd like to summarize that for you. We began with those electronic voting devices this morning, and it's clear that they're still not working, that we don't trust the accuracy. So in fact, we voted that we would use the paper voting devices, the manual voting devices. And just to ensure that we trust the vote, the delegation moved ahead. We would do all of our voting this way. We began to receive reports first thing in the morning. We received reports from the Secretariat Office and the Department of Archives, Statistics, and Research. Those two reports came back to back. They both deal with the worldwide membership, 18.5 million Adventists around the world. So much data. You can get all of these reports online at the General Conference website or the session website. Interesting to many of us in the room is the shift in membership over the last few years. Statistics were given to us comparing membership in the global north and the global south, 1960 to 2014. If you compare what's happened in our membership shift, they tell us now that 92% of our membership is in the global south. If you look at the statistics another way, today, 7 out of 100 members reside in North America. In 1960, 27 out of 100 members resided in North America. So that's another way of thinking about the shifts. In the same time period, it is, I believe, 38% of the membership is in Africa alone. Information is helpful so we can think more clearly and focused about mission and priorities for the church. They also talked quite candidly of what does it mean that we've lost 4 out of 10 members in the last 50 years? What does it mean that we seem to have over-reporting and some inaccurate reporting of our membership? It's tricky business to get accurate numbers from so many local churches all around the world. Many members delegates lined up at the microphone to reflect on these numbers and to ask questions. In the middle of all of this, a report came in from the nominating committee. So we paused on the membership, and our chairperson, Pardon Mwanza, he led us into the nominating committee report. The nominating committee brought back a name for president, executive secretary, and treasurer by the time today was completed. Let me start with the president's report because many people are interested in the process. Elder Ted Wilson's name was brought to us as the nomination coming from the nominating committee. Immediately, a delegate rose to the microphone and asked that the name be returned to the nominating committee for reconsidering. If you're a delegate, you have 3 choices. You vote yes, you vote no, or you can ask to have the name sent back to the nominating committee. These are the rules of order that are operating for the session. The nominating committee reconsidered, and they came back to the microphone and said, we bring forward the same name. We've considered already your concerns. A second delegate went to the microphone and made the identical request. Again, the nominating committee, a representation of them caucused. They heard the concerns, came back to the microphone and said once again, we've heard the concern, it's been considered, and we bring forward still the name of Elder Ted Wilson. There were long lines at the microphones. People were concerned about the voting system before we took the vote. If we can't do the electronic vote, could we at least do a private ballot? We couldn't get a consensus in the delegation to do a private ballot, so we went ahead and voted with the manual system. There was finally a delegate who called question on the motion, meaning no more talking about this name or this office, we're ready to vote. So in fact, we did vote, and Elder Wilson's name was voted through and returned to membership. He stepped out and addressed the delegation and was grateful, thanked people, quoted a couple of his favorite Bible verses. We took a break for lunch. We came back afterwards, and more names came forward. In the middle of the treasurer's report, the names came forward for executive secretary, returning to office, G.T. Ng, He's our local humorist. He loves to tell stories and keeps us all laughing. He actually requested that his name be sent back to the nominating committee. Besides Elder Ning's name, a name for treasurer came to us. Bob Lemon is retiring after serving the denomination 35 years, most of those years in treasury. Bob was thanked, the delegation rose to their feet, a standing ovation, and the name of Elder Juan Prestall was brought to replace him. So that name was also voted in, and by the end of today's business, we have a trio of administrative officers. I will tell you from sitting with the delegation Southeastern on the convention floor this morning and all day, we had our moment doing church business where we can be grateful that there's a process. We can be grateful that we all have voices. We can be grateful for chairpersons who consider carefully the feedback. And we can be grateful for the real dynamic. Eugene Peterson says the church is always one part mystery, one part mess. I think at different times today we felt the mystery and the mess, and we realize that we live inside of this tension. We also remember that it is the Almighty that leads this movement. We're grateful tonight as the sun sets that God is the God of this movement and of all creation. We ask you to keep praying for the process as the Sabbath visits us all. We'll be ready for business Sunday morning, but we're not going to rush that. For now, we're going to take a Sabbath break. Wherever you are in Southeastern California Conference, be well.